Hi guys, I'm Tory. I run Pratt Standard Cocktail Company, which is a DC-based craft cocktail ingredient company. And I have a fancy little box here from Think Nimble. It's a mystery box, and I'm gonna open it right now, and then we're gonna go through it together. Mysterious box. Oh my God, look, there's a picture of Neil. It says, go Tory. I love it. Okay. Ooh, I love good crinkle paper. I do a lot of shipping, so I appreciate some decent crinkle paper, also recyclable. Okay, first, a game. One of these syrups is yours, one is not. Can you tell which is yours and which is not? Answers at the bottom of the box. Also, I've got a kazoo, so you can't not kazoo a kazoo. So the first one was better. Okay, so we've got A and B. We got A. It's a viscous fruit-based syrup. And then we got another one. It doesn't look fruit juice based, but it might be. A and B. So I gotta taste it, guys, because you can't not. I already have suspicions because I look at my products a lot, but this is our grenadine. This is not mine, but it smells interesting. That's a good syrup right there. I appreciate whoever made that. It's got a element of bitter in it. It tastes like a mixture of things. I like it. Okay, but it wasn't this cute. Okay, now setting that off to the side. Okay, the answer is at the bottom of the box. So I really hope I was right, guys, because if I was wrong, that's kind of embarrassing. I gotta find. Well, I also got. Oh my God! I just got such a cool little jigger. This is called a jigger. It's a cocktail measuring device. But it's all blinged out. Look how blingy it is. Oh my God, it looks so cool. Okay, when you make a good cocktail, you gotta measure it. And now I am 100% going to use this in my cocktail classes. I feel like someone made this. This is beautiful. I'm very excited because who wouldn't want their cocktailware to look like that? Now I need a matching shaker and everything else. Okay, I have a series of questions. I'm going to flip it over. Oh, these are so cool. All right, I'm gonna set this aside for right now. What is your morning routine is the first question. My morning routine, I'm actually super intense about having a proper morning routine. So I wake up around 7:15, usually without an alarm. And then I recently got into this super cool fitness and sleep tracker. It's called a Whoop. And it tracks basically everything. So the first thing I'll usually do when I wake up is I look to see how well I slept, and then it gives me a way to know, what I'm going to do for the day and how intensely I'm going to go. Then I head downstairs with Apollo, our corgi, and I give him his breakfast. And then I just get settled into my morning routine. I usually have tea or coffee. And then I'll read the news usually for a little bit, eat some breakfast, and then I will head downstairs into our basement, which is where I am right now, and do a workout on my bike down here. I have a little bike set up on a trainer down here. Then I'll shower, and then I'll journal, and then I will meditate, and then I get into my day. So I have a long morning routine, and I actually love it that way. Where did I get the idea to make cocktail syrups? So I grew up around the food industry. My mom was a caterer, and she and my dad started a smoked seafood business together when I was little. So I always really, really loved food. I went to Georgetown undergrad, and my My experience there was awesome, except for the food. The food sucked. I lost the freshman 15 there. So I started to cook for myself, and I started a food appreciation club at Georgetown. And then after school, I followed a passion for international development work for about 5 years, and then started making cocktail syrups. I did them mostly for like home parties and things like that. And then it turned into a business, which is kind of still a surprise to me, to be honest. But I love it. Does happy hour feel like work? Never. A cocktail is fantastic at any time. Happy hour is like, I love a good happy hour, whether I'm making the cocktail or not. I love making a good cocktail. And so some people like look at things like that as like, okay, if you're doing your work, what you actually do for your work in your free time, it's not going to be fun. I still drink all of my products. I still use them on a daily basis, even 6 years later. And I love drinking them and making cocktails and being creative. So no, happy hour does not feel like work. Does being the Whole Foods bar program manager also make you the Amazon bar program manager? That's a good question. I hope so. Maybe Amazon will agree to that. Actually, Amazon is going to be, since they're moving to Virginia, at least opening up a new headquarters there. The bar that's in the Pentagon City Whole Foods is going to be like their bar. And so when I was working with the Whole Foods regional team, they were like, you have to make sure this bar is really, really good. And I was like, yep, can do. So maybe I am the Amazon bar program manager. Did you ever have a job or learn a skill that seemed so insignificant at the time, but you have found invaluable later on? Yeah, well, I'm just gonna say this is like exercise. So this is not even like a job, but like when I was really little, I hated going to all of my like swim practices and soccer and all those things. I loved playing the sport, but I hated like going and doing it all the time. And now exercise is such a crucial part of my life. It keeps me sane. And if I hadn't developed that skill set early on, I think it would have made my adult life a significant amount harder. So exercise. Or just making myself get up and do it, even though I don't really want to. That's kind of true for a lot of things in life. What is something you're most proud of doing? Let's see what I'm pretty proud of, and I don't know, I have trouble being proud of things, but something I'm most proud of doing is maybe bringing my sister into my business. So my sister is our designer and she does fantastic work. And I am proud that I get to say that my sister and I work together on a basically daily basis. She's basically my best friend, so I love that. Who do you call for advice? A lot of people, actually, and probably still too few at the same time. It depends on the type of advice. One of the things I will say is that I have like buckets of people in my life who serve different roles for me because they know me and they can react to things differently for me. So when I call my good friend from college, Laurel, for a lot of things, especially when she is, when I'm looking for, emotional advice and things like that, call my sister a lot. I still talk to my mom a lot. I also talk to my husband a lot. He's also an entrepreneur. And that can be super, super helpful for talking through things. What is one lesson you wish you didn't have to learn the hard way? So don't always learn things on YouTube. I get made fun of a lot for this one because it was horrible. But what happened was in high school, my parents were out to like some kind of fancy dinner and my sister and I were the only ones at home, and we ordered we ordered pizza, but we accidentally ordered it for pickup and not for delivery. And then, only then did we realize that my dad's car was blocking my mom's car in the driveway. Problem is, my dad's car is a stick shift, and I don't know how to drive a stick shift, and neither does my sister. And so I was just like, you can definitely learn how to drive a stick shift on YouTube, right? Turns out you can't. And so you can probably see where this is going. I tried to learn and ended up driving my dad's car into the back of my mom's car. And I spent the summer basically trying to make as much money as possible to pay for those repairs. It was not a fun time. So one thing I did learn that night was that my sister was standing actually in between my dad's car and my mom's car, and I told her to move, and I'm so glad that I did, because if I hadn't, I would have crushed her legs in between the car, and that would have been horrific. So glad I didn't do that. What is one question you get most from other entrepreneurs? What's the one question you get most from other entrepreneurs? I get lots of, it depends on how far along in their business they are, right? So I get questions from other entrepreneurs who have just started their business about, how do you build, a production mechanism for your business? How do you manage your time? As you get further along in the business, though, I think the question I get most is, how do you manage the fact that you always have too much to do and there is a limited number of hours in the day, which is a correlated question to how do you find work-life balance. They tend to both come into conflict with each other over the course of running a business, which is one of the best things about running a business, is that you do have to learn so much about yourself. And you have to learn how to balance your life and make sure that you're not just burning out, because it's so easy to burn out. And I can't say I have the right answer to that question, but I think a lot of entrepreneurs are consistently finding whatever the solution is there, or trying to find whatever the solution is there. I think for me, the answer to that question is really progress is the goal, because you can never be perfect and it's always going to be an adjustment back and forth. So as long as you feel like you're continually improving, then you're in a good place. What do you do in your downtime? I am a big fan of just developing different hobbies that keep me occupied. So I usually have some kind of interesting project that I'm working on. There's always a cooking project, almost always there's something unique that I'm working on that's cooking. So for example, last night, I made Vietnamese spring rolls. So they were mixed with pork and shrimp and then fried, and they were so delicious. And I love just trying different recipes and things like that. But I also love tinkering and learning new things. So I built our dining room table upstairs in our living room. And then I also more recently during quarantine, actually, I've gotten into leather working, and anything to do with my hands or that is a problem solving activity, I'm down for. I also like exercising. So what am I currently working on? So in my business, I'm currently working on a round of investment. I'm also currently working on a bajillion other things, building a team, probably releasing a new syrup at some point in the next couple of months, and all the other things that go along with that. And then on a personal level, I'm working on a leather duffel bag, given to the last question there. What's my favorite cocktail? I am an equal opportunity drinker. I drink everything. Except for beer, because I can't have gluten. But I love lots of different cocktails. During the summer, I would say it's probably a daiquiri. So a classic daiquiri, which is rum, lime juice, and simple syrup. It's awesome. It's not one of those frozen things. A lot of people have only had the frozen ones. This is so good. During the fall, I drink a lot of penicillins, which are Scotch-based, like ginger cocktails that I really enjoy. And then I also drink a bunch of long drinks, so like G&Ts and things like that. As I said, I drink everything. Martinis, Manhattans. I'm a big fan of rum, though, in lots of forms. So if I were to pick like a spirit to take me through the rest of my life, it would probably be rum. Okay, last question. If you could impart one piece of advice to someone starting a company today, what would it be? I would probably say that, and this is a big thing for me personally, I still struggle with, is that when they talk about like minimum viable product, really like it's very minimum. So when you are looking to try to see if you're getting product market fit or something like that, just make sure that you are really putting just the minimal effort out there. You'll get traction when it actually works. So I am a perfectionist. I love doing things as perfectly as possible. And that is not particularly helpful for running a business. I had to spend the first like 3 years of the business getting used to the fact that doing something 60% was actually better, because the problem is you'll create something 100% of the way, you'll send it out there to the market, and then nobody wants it. It would have been better if I only spent 60% of the effort, and then see if it works. And then you can always iterate and make it better from there. Running a business is like a big old science experiment. You have to develop hypotheses, and then you have to go and test them, and then learn from them, and then do it again with everything else that you're doing to see if it works or not. Divorcing your like perfectionism from it is super important, because the market will tell you what it wants. You can kind of bully yourself through there, but it's not going to actually help very much. All right, guys, those are the questions from Think Nimble Labs. I'm going to look through the rest of this box here first, because I want to know if I'm right. Guys, we have it. Okay. The answers we've all been waiting for. This is what it says. They're both mine? Oh my God, what is the B? What's B? Tell me, what's B?
It is for grapefruit rosemary.
Trick question.
And the other one is blackberry mint.
What? Oh my God, guys, I can't taste anything. I think I should go get my nose checked. What do you think?
I think you put up a valiant effort.
I did. I'm so proud of myself.